Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode of my weekly playlist series. We've made it to another Friday, which means it's time for me to share with you guys the games I've been playing during the week, give you guys my thoughts and opinions on these games, whether I think you guys should check them out or not. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on the games I share with you today. I'd also like to hear about the games you guys are playing, as that gives me great ideas of games to check out, and you guys have got me interested in quite a few games by hearing about the games you guys play. If you also have any suggestions of a game you think I should check out, let me know, as you guys have suggested some really good games, and I do have a nice growing list of games to check out. Now, this week I do have two games to share with you, and again, I'm going to insert clips of me playing them so you guys get a little bit of gameplay. And the first one we're going to talk about is one I've been working on for the last month, and that has been State of Decay 2, which is an awesome third-person zombie RPG game. So if you guys give me a second here, we'll insert the clip for you. Alright guys, we're going to take a look here at State of Decay 2, the Juggernaut Edition, which is a free upgrade. For any copy of State of Decay 2, you will get the updates and automatically update it to Juggernaut Edition. You don't have to buy anything extra or anything. Any copy of the game, you'll get the Juggernaut Edition. But I just want to show you guys some of the game modes that they have added. So you have the campaign mode, which is what launched with the game, where you play as a group of survivors on one of originally 3 maps, but now there are a total of 6 maps because they've added 3 new ones, which is great. Through free DLC, they added this Heartland story DLC, which says it's a lot deeper story, and it actually takes place between State of Decay 1 and 2, so this is a bridge between the 2 games, so that's great. But they also added this Daybreak zombie horde mode, where you can play solo or co-op with people online, and you guys fight in a compound that keeps fighting, and you have to survive increasingly difficult waves of different zombies. And by doing that, you actually unlock prestige points, and you also unlock secret weapons, vehicles, and perks and stuff you can use in the regular campaign or the Heartland campaign. So give me a second, guys, here to pause and get the game started. Alrighty, here we are. Just had to pause that, guys, because I do want to let you know that it does take about a minute to get the game fully loaded and everything, so there are that little bit of loading times. But once you're loaded into the game, you don't really have too much other loading issues to really deal with, so that's really cool. So again, I really like this game because it's a third-person action-adventure zombie RPG where you play as a group of survivors, and you're just trying to survive, scavenging supplies. You'll encounter zombies. You'll also encounter NPCs throughout the world, and some are good and some are hostile, and you also have missions and stuff. So show you guys the map here. This is something that's really cool to add to the game. This is actually Trumbull Valley, which is actually the map from the very first State of Decay game, where this took place in the first game. So it's really cool that they added this to State of Decay 2. You get to go back and revisit your old stomping grounds and stuff. And now, since the last time I played this game, I actually started a new community. I finally beat my second community I had created. And because my old community I played way before a bunch of these updates were in, I actually didn't have these new features that have been added to the game, where one of the new features they added is these plague hearts that you have now. If you have a plague heart in the area, you actually are unable to secure bases and outposts and stuff, as there is a cloud created by the plague hearts that prevent you from being able to claim areas. And the only way to get that is actually to destroy them. So that was one of the new features they added. Another one that's just cool, which you have for your outposts that you can create along with your main base, is outposts can now be upgraded, and they have more use than they did in the previous versions of the game. So like this one, I took over a fuel depot, and it's actually leveled up to level 2. It gives me more fuel collection, and then it's also a permanent safe area where I can drop off supplies. Another thing they added to it is you can actually switch playable characters at one of your outposts instead of having to go all the way back to your base, which is cool. And I also have this med outpost one here, which is an army medical tent, which gives me collecting meds every day because my community has supply needs that it uses every day, which we have food, we have medicine, we have ammo, we have building materials, and we have fuel, which is all used by our characters. And what I really like is you start out with a really small base, but as your community grows, you're able to build larger and larger bases, which is really good. I guess I started out the game, this one, with just 3 characters, and when you do beat a community, the game is over. You can actually send all of these characters to what's called your legacy pool, and you can have up to 50 legacy characters in there, and you can choose if you don't want some of these characters. But like, I brought one of my characters here, Goodman, from my last community, as I have him almost maxed out on everything. He's an active duty military guy. He has a lot of great perks and stuff, so I wanted to bring one of my older characters with me, as I got some new ones. And then I did get 2 randomly generated characters as I went through. When you start the game, you can either start off with your old characters if you use legacy characters, or you could do like I do and have them randomly generate characters. So I picked ones that had skills, like he had medicine, and Die here had computer stuff. So I like to have a variety of characters who have different skill sets. So that's the other thing I really like about this, is every character is unique from each other. They have their own personalities. They have their own health and stamina. Like he has 132 health and 132 stamina. He has his morale meter, which affects his mood and can affect his standing in the community and how he gets to people. And then they also have traits. Like he doesn't like that there's a zombie threat, and he's often the target when conflicts occur, so there can get some penalties. You can also have perks as traits, which is cool. We have Tanner here, who's a day laborer. Security obsessed, so he's someone who likes security and stuff, so that's really cool. And you can just go through all your different community members. As you play the game, you will recruit new ones. You can exile someone if you don't really like them, and if your characters do die in this world, they have permadeath. They're dead forever, and you can never get them again. You're also able to elect a leader, and there are different kinds of leaders. Like this one is a sheriff, so his priority is to protect the innocent and deliver swift justice to those who would harm them. So when you play through the main story, it's all focused around the sheriff, but there are other characters who, if you elected them, like this one's a warlord, so they establish peace through strength, build an arsenal, and destroy all outside threats. This guy's a trader, so if you pick him as your leader, you'll be focused more about getting valuables and trading with other community members. And then there's also the builder ones, which I had my last one. Those are guys who really want to fortify the bases and build up strong for their community. So you do have different leaderships to play, which will affect your main story missions you get to go through, which is cool. Another thing I really like about this is you'll have your main story goals to go through, which is secure the territory. The main story overall in these maps is to destroy the plague hearts. I've destroyed 2 of the 7. But your community members each can have their own personal missions that they want to accomplish, including your leader, which will have his goals, which he wants to do some sheriff ones. But you'll have other community members as well who will have missions that they want to complete. And by completing them, you'll actually unlock perks and you level up those characters. And then you'll have external quests as well to play, where these are your random quests you play, where sometimes you can unlock new characters. You will encounter enclaves, which are NPCs, and they all start out neutral. Sometimes they are hostile, and depending how you interact with them, you help them complete missions and stuff, they'll actually become friendly, and then they'll give you benefits, like once you do enough missions for them. Like this one gives me ally medical advice, so I can use my radio and I can get medical advice and heal me on the go. And then we have another one here, the Motel Hoppers, which are friendly, which I'm working on doing some more missions for them. We'll unlock some new perks and stuff. And then I also have the Local Heroes. This is a group of survivors who asked us to help them solve a dispute. But sometimes you will run into enemy NPCs that you will have to fight and kill, as they will try to kill you. You can kill them and you can take their supplies. I love that the game has vehicles, so you don't have to just go out on foot. And it tells you on the map where your vehicles are, which is something I really love. So you can see where different vehicles are in the world. This is where my base is, and you guys can see all my different vehicles that I have. One thing that's different from State of Decay 1 to State of Decay 2 is vehicles can actually be repaired when they get damaged. and they actually take fuel. So that's something that's different from the first State of Decay to the second State of Decay, is you actually have fuel you have to worry about. Another thing I like too about this game is you can actually recruit other of your characters in your community to come help you on missions and stuff. So I can go up here to Kaylee and say, can I enlist you to be with me? And so she'll come out in the world and help me. Have your flashlight you can turn on, because this game does have a day and night cycle, which I really love, which is awesome. Really adds to the realism. And you actually have days that go by in the game, which then affect different missions and stuff, and new things unlock. And the more days to pass in the game, the harder the game becomes. So it's something that's really cool. Show you guys just a little bit here, more of the gameplay of fighting some zombies and stuff. And I gotta watch as this car is pretty low on gas, but we'll find a little group of zombies here to fight away from our compound. So there's one there. And you can do melee combat, and you also have different weapons and guns you can use. Like I'll use this handgun on him, which you would like try to get headshots the best you can, as that'll help take them down real quickly. So there are a variety of zombies. You have your regular ones in different sizes and different speeds, but you also have what are called blood plague zombies, and those are zombies that are infected with blood plague, which is what those blood plague hearts have, and they can infect you, and you have to be careful. If you take too much, you can actually become infected with that blood plague, and you then actually could become a blood plague zombie if you do not get the cure, which you have to learn and develop. There's also special classes zombies, which are like hero zombies, which are super ones, which you have like ferals, which I really hate. They're a super fast run, really strong zombies that are hard to kill. You have bloaters, which are guys filled with gas that you want to kill from a distance, as that gas will attract other zombies. You have ones that are called screamers. They scream really loud, and it alerts zombies in the area, and they flock to them. And then you also have big guys called juggernauts, which are big, giant, huge super zombies that are really hard to take down. And of course, you do have different difficulty settings in this game, which I like, as the harder the difficulty, the harder it is to get resources and stuff like that. So show you guys a little quick here of me scavenging, because a big part of this game is scavenging for those resources you need to survive, as well as loading up games. I like the RPG elements too in this game, as if you do skills and stuff like fighting enemies, if you use melee weapons, you actually become stronger with melee weapons. Or if you use guns, you become stronger in shooting. So it's something I really, really do enjoy with this game. And so when you come into the map, you can actually search through different areas that have a little box icon on them, so that you can find and scavenge resources. And every place has so many containers you find. It's like I found a bag of snacks. And so you go through and scavenge through the different areas. You can see I have a ton of buildings and stuff to search through here to find supplies and bring them back to my base. But it's just a fun game. I think you guys should definitely check out State of Decay 2. It's something I really enjoy, and I think you guys will enjoy it too. Hope you guys enjoyed this little sneak peek gameplay of it. And let me know your guys' thoughts on State of Decay 2, but I love it. So look at State of Decay 2, which I absolutely love. This zombie game is so awesome. Definitely you guys should check it out. And now we'll move on to the other game I was playing this week for Xbox One, and that is Shadows Awakening, which this is an awesome isometric action RPG game, which is a little bit different compared to the other ones due to some of the game mechanics, which I'll be showing you guys here in the next clip. Alright guys, we're going to take a look here at Shadows Awakening, which this is an awesome isometric action RPG, which does set itself apart from other isometric action RPGs, because this one has a unique mechanic to it, which is you actually have two worlds. You have the shadow world that you play as with the main character as a devourer, but then you also have the mortal world. And the Devourer here actually consumes the souls of the characters you play as in the mortal world, and basically are called his puppets. And I like being that you can switch between characters on the fly. You can have up to 4 at once, the demon, and 3 puppets. So I have Evia, who is a fire mage. I also have this, I can't remember his name, but he's another mage. And then I have Czar, who is like a giant werewolf warrior guy, which is really cool.
Must I do everything myself?
And here you can see the equipment for the different characters you play as, like the Devourer. He has his main hand weapon. He can also have a shield and his offhand. Armor, you can have different pieces of armor to wear, different helms, cloaks. He's not able to wear boots because he doesn't have feet, but if he did, he'd have boots to choose from, belts, gloves, a necklace, rings, and then a soul stone, which is used by the Devourer for different magical abilities. But then you can see Evia here with her different equipment. You have the wood elemental mage, so he doesn't wear as much stuff. And then you have Czar, which is one of my favorite characters here. Is he's a warrior, but he's like a big werewolf type dude, which is really cool. You can check out their different skills, as they do unlock new skills as you upgrade your characters. Like he has a wolf dash, which he can then send out different wolves, and you can upgrade them further as you level up. You also have talents that they learn, which like you can use like toughness, which then gives him more endurance and makes him a stronger character. Make him do extra damage to different beasts and stuff. And then you can see the character's stats, which he has 63 strength, 19 agility, endurance 48, and willpower 17, which you can adjust this based on your play style and level up your characters. He's level 13, and he's also a warrior, and it tells you his experience, his attack. You have all your classic RPG stuff here. You also have your journal, which keeps track of all the quests you're doing, which is you have main quests and side quests broken up through all the different chapters that are in the game. And then you also have books, which you find in the world, which a lot of these RPGs do, and you can take the time to read them, as it gives you insight and history of the world and the characters that you interact with. Let's see if we can find some enemies to fight here. But so if we're in this shadow world, there are actually demons that can only be seen in the shadow world and will only attack the Devourer, that you won't find in the mortal world, which is cool. And so, like, there's different kinds of enemies. Like, so these are demon hunter wolves, and so some of them are stronger against certain characters. So you might have to switch up and like see how this one, he's kind of weak on stuff. So you might want to switch to different characters, as different enemies require different tactics and stuff. So that's another thing I like too, because you can combine attacks. Like I could have her summon the golem guy, and he'll help fight characters for me. But then I could become Czar and summon his ghost warriors. So see, I got 3 now characters helping me fight enemies besides my own characters. And, you know, they have cooldown times, and some last longer than others. Now, there are some enemies that can be seen by the Devourer. Like, so they can see him in the Shadow World. But normally, like, this character is a ghost spirit. He's only in the Shadow World. If I switch to in the mortal world, I mean, I'm not going to actually find any of these characters to fight, because they won't be in the mortal world. They're only in the shadow world. But there are some that can transcend both, people who live in actually both at the same time, and so those ones can actually attack either characters depending what world you're in. Like you saw that one wolf character, you know, he actually saw my Devourer and was able to attack him too. But it's just, I like that aspect, you know, just different, having 2 worlds at once to go through. It's just really, really cool. And if we go to the demon world here, here's this place called the Sanctuary, where you actually can switch characters, and you have a party, which you can have up to 4. And so you have warrior characters, you have hunters, and you have mages, which there was actually originally only 15 playable characters, but they've actually added 2 which through DLC, which this is one. This Golem, I unlocked him, I did his missions and stuff and unlocked this character. There's another one they added that I'm going to be unlocking, but it's further along in the story. And so at the beginning of the game, you can choose either a warrior character, Kalig, you could put Jasker, who is a hunter, or the mage, which is Evia, which is who I chose because I'm a big fan of mages, so I chose her. So unfortunately, in this playthrough, I cannot play as either of these characters. So if I wanted to play as every character, I'd have to play at least 3 playthroughs to get every character. And now these are other characters you'll unlock. Some are unlocked through the story, that they're not missable, but some are missable if you don't do side quests to unlock them. And then there are times, like with this one, the Wasp, I had a choice of either unlocking this Wood Elemental or the Wasp character. I didn't really like the Wasp character because it's literally just a giant wasp, had kind of crappy attacks, so I decided to go with the Wood Elemental. So you sometimes have a choice. You can have one character or the other. You go down path A, you get this character. You go down path B, you get that character, because you can't have every character in every playthrough. So there are some that you will not unlock, which I think is cool, and it adds to the replayability. So if you want to play other characters, you might want to play through a different time of the story and use different characters, as I have heard that there are more than one ending to this game. So I'm definitely looking forward to experiencing different endings and playing through more than once. But it's just a fun game. I really love, being able to exist in the mortal world and the demon world, which is cool. And in this little area, actually can heal me. And there are merchants in the world. There's ones that live in the mortal world, but there are some who live in the demon world. And now every character is independent of each other. They all have their own separate health bars and mana and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. And if one of them dies, you actually then have to wait to get them revived here. So like, here's a shadow trader. You can go shopping, and then you have all kinds of different things you can buy that are unique for the shadow world. And then you also can get, in human world, in the mortal world, you can get stuff for your mortal characters and stuff. But just wanted to give you guys a quick little look at this game. It's just something that's really fun. I love that you have a main story to go through. All the characters are voiced. It has great music. You can see the visuals look really nice. Just a really fun game that I think you guys should check out, especially if you guys are a fan of isometric action RPGs like I am. You have so many different attacks and stuff to level up and to learn, and you can combine powers and stuff with other characters, and it's just really fun. And of course, the further you get through the story, the harder the game gets, and so that's why you want to keep leveling up, as doing many quests as you can, because the game does get really difficult. I hope you guys enjoyed that little look here at Shadows Awakening. Such a fun game, guys, and that is why I love Shadows Awakening. Such an awesome action RPG game. We'll do our quick little recap like we do every week. I talked about State of Decay 2. I absolutely loved this zombie RPG game. It's really great with how much the devs have been supporting this game since it launched. They keep adding all kinds of free content to the game. New maps, new enemies, new game modes. They keep changing up the gameplay a little bit, adjusting difficulty, adding weapons and stuff. So they're really supporting the game really well. And then we also talked about Shadows Awakening, which is an awesome isometric action RPG that's unlike other games in the genre, because it actually has a mortal world and a demon world, which you can switch between on the fly, which is awesome and changes up the gameplay and mechanics a bit, which is something I really enjoy. So definitely you guys should check out State of Decay 2 and Shadows Awakening. Let me know guys' thoughts on these games. I'd like to hear about the games you guys are playing, and if you have any suggestions on games you think I should check out, let me know, as you guys always do recommend really fun games. I want you guys to take care, have a great day, and Sleepy will see you next time.